So last week, I gave a shout out to Brent's Bricks, but I didn't even realize this week it's the 1-year girth anniversary for a couple of brickheads. So 2 whoop salute to Sean, Max, Brent, and the newest member, Nicole, over at a couple of brickheads. This was not a paid advertisement for the Cali Brick Clique, but the girth gang's heavy with the jank, and it's just facts.
Everyone's getting their Zabby stuff already. I'm excited. So the ATC should be here soon. I saw that it's just past customers, so it should be here soon.
I didn't know that was available yet. Hello and welcome back to Cali Brick Clique. I have zero idea what episode it is, and I'm sure none of you know. But regardless, it doesn't matter. What is it? Do you guys want to chime in? 85. Good for us. That's how old
I like that one.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of our weekly podcast. If you'd like to listen to some of our older ones, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcasting platform of your choice. In addition to that, we've actually been graced with the presence of one of my closest friends. But before we introduce her, we've got SHYtimeisMytime, the Ninja, and of course, BrightestWitchBricks.
Hello.
Lauren. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. We've got a few things to talk about. One being Big Train. Two being BrickFair. So if you guys don't know, we've been really lucky and gotten to see a lot of our friends pretty regularly this last summer during convention season. And really kind of the last convention that our group of friends is going to just happen this past weekend, also known as BrickFair Virginia. It was a very emotional, momentous roller coaster of an experience, ending with a lot of money, a lot of pills that were taken, and
legal,
a lot of
over the counter, bought from a pharmacy.
Oh, okay.
We'll get into that. We'll get into my indigestion that was masking itself as a heart condition. Anyway, but before we get into that, do you guys want to talk about Big Train?
Big Train. What do you all think?
I love it. I'm excited. I really want to buy it day one, but we are going to be making some pretty serious financial changes over here on our end. So I'm a little bit stressed out. I'm putting kind of a kibosh on Lego. I don't think Sans knows this yet.
Ooh.
I mean, it's a $500 set. I wouldn't blame you to kind of hold off for this one.
Or wait for double VI. Wait for something. Yeah, make it worth it.
It's a pretty iconic set also, so I feel like it's not going to just sell out right away.
That thing's huge.
I'm not worried about sellout. To be totally fair, though, we did Brickworld Chicago, which was pretty serious, and then we also did spend a little bit at BrickFair, totally not in comparison to my other experiences. Honestly, we bought as much as Shy did, and that's more telling about Shy than us. By the way, Shy was not there. And then we also recently purchased the Sanctum, the Big Castle, the 2 new Speed Champions, the Haunted Mansion. It's a lot. This is a lot.
It's a lot.
And
Mickey's Castle, don't forget about that.
What? The which one?
Mickey's Castle or Medieval Castle?
Yeah, we got the Medieval Castle, or that Mickey's one. We also got the new Yoshi set because apparently we collect the Yoshis.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one? So
yeah. Belly piece.
Really, but the thing is, I don't know. I do want to talk a little bit about this, waiting later for sets versus buying it during the hype.
Mm-hmm.
I've always bought later. Mm-hmm. And I can count on one hand how many times I've bought during the hype, bought it, built it that day, done a video about it within a week later. I can count on one hand. It is so much fun.
It is.
Wait, to buy during the hype? Later? Or to buy later? To buy during the hype.
It's so fun.
Mm-hmm. If you have time, if you know you have dedicated time to buy, build, enjoy. Yeah.
FOMO is a thing though, because
it is.
I kind of this last wave. I was like, I'm not going to do anything on the first. Mm-hmm. I'm going to wait, buy a couple things. And I missed that Disney set, and it's not coming back. So, you take a gamble sometimes when you don't buy stuff on the first. So
it will come back. It will come back. It's just not right away.
It will. But I mean, I haven't seen the Disney Castle though, the mini one.
I have. I just started seeing it.
I saw it in the store today.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's back. So you
There's
will.
Hope.
And wait a year. If you want to spend $5 more, you can buy it on Disney.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. I've been checking on there to see if they have the other one. Yeah. But I feel like there is also fun in hunting afterwards. Yeah. So
there is.
What's the surprise? Is it in stock? Is it not in stock?
Are the store going to
have it? If I go into the store, see it.
Mm-hmm. But for me, like, I don't get as much. I get like a little bit of FOMO, just like a little bit, like but I mostly get even more excited though. It's mostly like the fueling of the fun when you go get it at the beginning. Yeah. And it's not worth it. It's not worth making financial sacrifices in your life just for that like little bit of fun. But it certainly is like,
it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. And there's certain releases that like, I feel like I prioritize over others. You know what I mean? Like my favorite themes, which are like modulars and like buildings. So like, the Sanctum and like the castle were like that for us. Like we are big castle fans. We do really like Marvel and buildings. But then like, I also like Harry Potter's up there for me. Like Harry Potter's the only one that I've ever done that before where I go on day one. That's it. It's just Harry Potter that I've ever done that with.
I didn't buy anything August 1st. Nothing. was completely like not. I thought about the Sanctum, but I'm just like, no. Like I went. No. I bought nothing August 1st, and I just knew Big Train was like going to be happening, and I've already got a plan. I'm gonna like stream. Rosie's doing like a really long stream. Topic Bricks, and like he wanted people like with him and stuff. Like I'll buy it day one. I'll be right there with you. We'll build it. It'll be a good time. Like because sometimes for me, I really like building while on a call or like while with friends because building by myself doesn't have the same. Like sometimes it's really nice. But because I've hung out with all of our friends so much, I'm just like, oh, I want some, Lego people AFOL interaction while I'm doing this, just to be able to enjoy it with a fellow Harry Potter nerd, to be able to enjoy it with more Lego friends, just like, oh, look at this piece. Oh, this is printed. Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. Right. To share in that live reaction of building the set.
Plus all the Easter eggs that might be in there. You're like,
oh yeah, like that we don't even know about, and that maybe there's a surprise in the box. Like who knows? Yeah. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able. I've been saving up my VIP points for a very long time. Pretty sure I'm going to be able to get the train fully paid for. Free.
Nice.
It's the plan.
That's awesome.
So we did that with the castle. Yeah. That was like we did. I think it was a $400 set, right? Mm-hmm. I think we put $300 worth of points too. I don't know why we decided to save them, but
sometimes it's just nice to have that backlog just there.
You could use it on the train if you want later down the line or anything else that comes. New module that comes out in January, I'm sure.
And new Winter Village. So one of my really good friends, I got her into the Winter Village stuff last year, and so now she was asking me, she's like, "Has anything been leaked?" And I think the only thing that we've seen leaked is the Christmas tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an actual set, not a gift for purchase this time.
Exactly.
I don't understand. Why does it say 2 in 1 though, and it just shows 2 Christmas trees? Did anybody notice that?
I don't know. We don't see the box yet.
Yeah, we have to. I think
maybe you can decorate the tree differently.
Speaking of leaks, though, is it a thing now that once it leaks, Lego just announces it the next day?
I don't know.
I mean, for
it's been happening.
Such a big set to have leaked. There was a lot. Like this was a big cock up. Like
that was their mess up.
Huge.
Supposedly.
Huge. And so they couldn't miss this opportunity to put all that on Lego.com to like try and catch at least some of the hype off of.
Because according to our friends, it's happened to multiple people got it. Like in lieu of the cat. Like what would you do if you got that? Would you tell customer service or would you just be like, nah?
I mean, depends on who the person is.
If it was something, I have no idea. If I was planning on buying both of them, I don't know what I would do.
Well, it's hard because there's just kind of
I'll sell to one of my friends for double the price.
Well, when they send 2 AT-ATs out to a person, they can keep both of them because it was Lego's cuck up. But when, like, hey, you didn't send me my castle, I got this instead. And, even if they like try and ask for it back, I'm like, no, I should get to keep this one. And then you are going to send me what I ordered.
Mm-hmm. This is your problem.
I don't know enough about it, but it is certainly fascinating how that happens. And
I want to see the promo video. Like, I'm really surprised they haven't released that. I wonder when that's going to happen.
Like I said, I don't think they were ready to announce it. Like,
no, they're not.
I feel like every time something's leaked, the next day
Did they do that with the train? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so the next day it was like Beyond the Brick covered it and all the kind of
it's
stuff.
on Lego.com as well.
It's on Lego.com. Yeah. So like the past like major things that have been leaked like that, it's been announced like if not the next day.
I didn't notice that they were doing that. I wonder if it's like a new strategy to kind of like get ahead of the leak and
and catch some of that hype and catch some of that. Yeah,
as well. I mean, it's already out there. Might as well just put it out there. Like what's the whole? Unless
if you wait, people are just going to be like, if they would have done this a week and a half after, 2 days ago, boring, old news.
Mm-hmm.
When are we getting our green guns? Things like that.
That's the next thing. Okay.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening.
When is it supposed
to
come
see
out?
Leicester Square? Have you seen? Yeah. No.
I'm going to be there next week.
The shop. Oh yeah.
I'm so jealous.
The biggest store.
I'm really excited.
It looks cool.
I'm trying. I saw like a couple of things and then I like stopped myself because I really want to be surprised. But yeah, we're definitely going to film a video there, which is fun. We did film some content. I'm really excited. We filmed some really fun content. What's it called? Lauren was like one of our camera people, and it was me walking backwards through BrickFair. So
being like led by Sam.
Yeah, and I was like pointing at things, and we were giving like a tour guide, our version of tour. So I'm excited to.
Wait, walking backwards, meaning are you gonna play it forward so everything looks?
Oh, that would be funny, but no, I think it looks good as it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'll wait. I'm excited. I'm excited for.
I think it'll be in the same vein. Yeah, I think it'll be in the same vein of my last video. Like really quick, really snappy.
Cut together, just piece together.
Exactly. You have to watch it a couple times to catch all the jokes.
Nice.
So yeah, and all the slurs and all.
So when are we going to see this content?
We're working on it. It's a team effort over here on our end.
You're traveling next week.
Traveling.
So following.
We are traveling, and we're leaving a week from today. But also, we are. I am in a more. Work has picked up, and it's fun. So, yeah, it's been good though. I've enjoyed some more structure to my life.
Nice.
But speaking of structure, I do want to switch this over a little bit to talk about BrickFair versus Brickworld, and that there is some fundamental structural differences between them, many of them being organizationally based, and how that impacts the experiences that convention goers have. And they both are uniquely different. And I think they're both really fun and they have their own charms, but they are quite striking. So Lauren and I we went to BrickFair Virginia last year, and we went to Brickworld Chicago this year, and then BrickFair Virginia again. So we kind of have the same. So it's been a year really since we started going to conventions, and BrickFair was both our first convention. Mm-hmm. And Lauren, I guess off the cusp, like which one would you pick? Let's just like kind of get to the end right away, and then we'll talk about why.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
For someone that's never been to either one, which one should I go to first?
These two conventions are known for being the two largest for a reason. There's always people talk about Chicago and Virginia the most because they are epic, and they are like I am so thankful for my experiences at both and being able to have the opportunity to go to both, especially in 1 year. I know that's why so many people, especially the Brits and like overseas and in other countries, are just kind of like, which one should we go to if we pick one? And really, at the end of the day, unless you're a very specific demographic, Chicago is going to pretty much always win out for me, just because of so many different factors, but especially from a content creator and elder millennial who likes nice things and comfort and just convenience all in one.
Okay.
So I think we'll get into the breakdown of all of those things, but I'm with you, Lauren. I think Chicago is it. I think we were really lucky that we went to Virginia first, though. I think we enjoyed Chicago more because of that. I think it was like a subtle.
I agree.
but we loved Virginia. So the first time we were in Virginia, we both stayed at the hotel that was
across the parking lot.
Exactly. That's where you're theoretically supposed to be meant to stay.
The Holiday Inn.
Yeah, and it's kind of on the lower end of Holiday Inns. Like I've stayed at plenty of them, and this one's like it's an older one, so that it hasn't been refurbished. When we were there, it was like really still in the middle of the pandemic, and the pool had been overgrown with like just algae. It was just a little bit of a disaster. And then there is much more of like a teenage boy energy going on at BrickFair Virginia, and so there's like pranks happening like throughout the hotel, and like just like lots of like silly things. That
there's a huge Bionicle community as well, and you can just imagine like that demographic, which it's really cool to see them come together because what they create, their passion for like what they love,
awesome.
It is palpable.
Yeah, literally. There's like Bionicle. There's like
very much teen boy energy,
teen boy odor as well. Like the ceiling.
Wait, was that a thing? That was real. Like the odor was real.
Yeah. The odor's real. We got that text message.
Yes.
I thought that you guys were just kidding about it.
No, it's real. There's a lot of
real.
Wow.
It is real.
Old Spice should sponsor.
Oh, I would have paid. I would have paid for a European to follow around, or some cologne, or some body spray.
Yeah, it was like straight up. It was like people needed to be hosed down and deodoranted up. But
next year it's going to smell like Axe.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah, but you
it'd be better than a baseline.
Axe is gross.
What?
Axe, because at the gym everybody uses Axe for some reason. I don't know why. Like, why would you spray yourself on top of already a bad smell?
Well, people think it hides it, but all it does is make it worse. Anyway,
sorry.
Anyway,
was the pool clean this time?
I didn't really look. Honestly,
the pool was filled, and they did do the boat race in it. So I think that was a step up. Whether or not anyone attended the actual pool, it's not really a place you want to be.
No.
Unlike the Schaumburg Renaissance, like the Marriott Renaissance, a lovely indoor pool, very nice time. Has like a little like workout room that is up.
Very nice gym.
A very nice gym. Very nice pool. Very nice hot tub. Like
the hotel's nice.
It was just nice. It was
the
just
the mirror is great.
Upper tier, just.
When the price point is the same, it's the same price. That's the thing. It's not like one is more expensive than the next. So this time we stayed at Airbnb, which was fine. It was clean. We're never going back there again.
It's fine. It's clean.
Wait, what?
It's just like it
looked cool. Well, at least Lauren's initial video.
I did a quick. Unfortunately, it wasn't a place where we can congregate because we weren't allowed guests. That's the whole point of Virginia is getting to. Right. It was attached. It was a kind of an income property. Someone instead, how dare they, of turning their basement into a Lego room basement, they made it into an income property and listed it on Airbnb as a luxury Airbnb.
So you're in someone's house while they were living in it?
Yeah. So some of us were more comfortable with that than others. Like I didn't care, but the door was, you could see the door going upstairs. But it was still a really nice time. We felt completely safe. There were very good instructions. Everything was great. But to be a 10-minute drive from the convention center, like 10 minutes or less, easy, depending on lights, was such an inconvenience. Because you don't want to miss anything, but you can't run back to the hotel room to grab anything.
Was there coffee, though?
True.
Coffee.
There's a Starbucks in the Deleuze Expo Center, but there's nowhere for hipster coffee shop.
Oh, there's no hipster thing.
There's Dunkies. There's Starbucks. There is no hipster coffee.
Dunkies.
Dunkies.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyway,
Shout out to
I just wanted to know to prepare myself because I was supposed to do Virginia this year, but we went to Mexico, so that kind of killed.
I mean, if you're willing to, it would be a substantial drive.
I drove far in Schaumburg.
I'm sure you did. I think you would have to drive a similar amount to get to a hipster coffee spot in Chantilly for sure. So I don't know, but it was the problem was the Airbnb. We couldn't bring any guests back, or we would have been immediately evicted from our space that we had paid so much for. And no one had a hotel room that we could congregate in other than, the Star Wars boys room. And some of us just like, we're on the outskirts of that group, not really in that group. Would have really liked a separate group, like to be able to hang out, but we just didn't have a touchdown point that was convenient.
You guys weren't Ryan's rent-a-crowd this
time? We were still Ryan's rent-a-crowd, but it was, that room already had like 4 guys sleeping in it anyway. So there wasn't any easy touchdown point for us to chill out in, for us to invite people over, just to be, like comfortable space. We always felt almost a little uncomfortable of like, well, do we want to go back? Well, if we go back, we can't hang out with the friends we came to see. Yeah. Even though we were with each other, that was really cool. But there's others. It was a little bit of like off. Just like something was a little off. The puzzle piece just wouldn't fit at any point in time.
Next year, then, are you staying in the hotel?
I don't know if I'm going to Virginia next year.
Well, I mean,
but I would suggest if you're going to go to Virginia, even though the Holiday Inn is not the nicest of places, register early, get into the Holiday Inn, because it's the convenience factor. It's still nice. It's still clean enough. It's fine. And it's so nice to just be able to run back to your room across the parking lot, drop off stuff, have a moment to yourself, get a water, and then go back to the convention center. Yes.
I think the not having to drive out and into the convention is a big key to that too.
Absolutely. Like 10 out of 10. It was so hot too, that the fact that Chicago, you are all in one convention center. Everything is attached. You never leave AC. It is glorious. There's carpet. There's music playing in the background. It's just really nice. It's a good ambiance. You feel posh. But in Virginia, it's such more of I say it too much, but it's such a summer camp vibe of, it's just like, it's a completely standing alone convention center, just a concrete block where, they hold gun shows and, other like hot tub, expos that was being advertised on little like flyers on the ground, like, just this random landscape, very large space, very convenient for other things and very convenient for this. But it's just different.
Yeah, it's very different. And it's also like so like the older you are, the more comfortable you want to be, which is like pretty common and stuff. But it's cool. There are definitely certain people that only go to one convention and not the other. And so like the mocks are still incredible. And I think that's like really awesome. The way that the vendors are set up are in a separate room, which I think is actually better than the way that Chicago has. There's more space, more room, more freedom. Space. The yard sale is like significantly more epic. There's there were 90 tables at 2 different yard sales.
Wow.
90 tables. While, Brickworld is like 8 tables. Yeah.
Set up in the back, like where the like
corner,
food court was. Like a second thought.
It certainly feels like the Schaumburg one is this massive public event that's really catered to the public, while BrickFair Virginia feels like an event that is a little bit more catered towards the mock builders, the attendees, that the public happens to also come
be able to enjoy.
Well, question about that then. If it's, I can see that it's a lot more organized via mock wise, because I hated the way Chicago was as far as where the mocks were kind of placed. So this time it's all organized, right? Like Star Wars is Star Wars, or is it all kind
actually,
of so?
It's a double-edged sword, because I understand where you're coming from, Shy, because Virginia is set up via theme, correct?
Exactly.
So my mock, the Hall of Prophecies, was set up in pop culture, pop culture, not Star Wars. All the Star Wars were together at 3 tables. You had castle and you had like other, builds, trains, etc. But you have to set up your mock on a first come, first serve basis. You're just told what theme you are, and you just have to like show up and like pick a spot. And you're lucky if you still have a spot. Now, granted, there was an asterisk to say, find your team leader before placing your mock. No offense to our team leader, don't know their name, saw them once at the very end where he asked for feedback and then didn't really take it. So, and since I had such a large mock and they made us sign up with specific dimensions on how our mock was to be viewed, how large it would be, all this stuff, and I input all of this very specific information for it just to be ignored and me show up and I have to like, hey, is anyone using this corner spot? I guess I'll take it. It was just really strange. Good news. Your theming is all together and, you know, all the Star Wars people were with the Star Wars and all the, you know, I'm with this weird pop culture thing that some Harry Potter mocks were with. But then I really enjoyed the organization of Chicago where I didn't have to sign up per mock. I signed up per table. And so I had my own space. It had my name on it. I was on the map. You could find me. And it was way more clear as to where I was supposed to set up. Granted, I was just kind of put with these people. I didn't really sign up for I didn't really sign up for a theme, and they didn't really put me with a theme. So it was more jumbled, and I could see how that could really affect a person's experience jumbled up of, man, I love castle. I would really just like to visit the castle space first and dedicate my time to that, or really love military. Like, I would love to just visit the military space and be able to catch it all in one and then go to the other spaces that I really like. So if you just almost combined the best aspects of both of them, you would have such a great combination of that. Like, really, Virginia, I think, is doing it in a better way. But if you had just saved a spot for some of the more significant mocks or told us, hey, you all can go here, figure it out as you get like set up and whatnot, but at least have a Post-it note, like reserve.
Well, do you think that was just like your team leader's problem, or do you think that was like that was everywhere? Oh, okay. So that was a pretty much a problem for them.
It is a convention. It is a convention thing, unless your Empire lug, which, you know, gets to save unless you're an island, you know, you have a big enough presence to have an island to yourself, or you have a big enough lug that the lugs, you know, you set up with your lug and stuff like that. But for just some,
that was in Chicago too with the
yeah. Like, and they could still but they were able to reserve those tables themselves, and that was easily dedicated. Where it would have been really overwhelming for me as a first time mock builder to have gone to Virginia first and really not know where I was supposed to go, have no assistance. Of course, I asked some of the other people and like, hey, like, where do we set up? And they're like, oh, just pick a spot. I'm like, oh, okay, will do. But, and everyone's really like nice. I know that there are some people apparently in pop culture that are more particular, some mock builders that are more particular about how they're set up in their space and make a little bit of a problem for, it seems like, the people, but they're very set in their ways, and this is apparently how it's been done for years. So,
which is always a sign for never change. That's like, oh, that if it's been done for years,
a warning sign.
Yeah.
So that was my feedback of like, it would be really cool if some of the larger mocks had like a reserved space, and they're like, oh, you could have just come got me and we would have figured it out. I'm just like, so it would be still really cool if you could have a reserved spot just coming in to take you out of the picture, because you were never. So anyway.
Speaking of never there, so I'm assuming in Chicago we're all bringing something, because I'm bringing my army, because I'm going to display that. I spent too much money not to share that.
Your army travels easily, though.
It does. It's great. But
nothing I have travels easily. Like my little 16 by 16 babies don't travel.
Babies? Which you could just rebuild it.
I could just, kind of.
Have instructions that we could all sit in a circle and build like you give one to each of us, and we just start putting it together as best we can.
Maybe. They're real cute. I might do that. We'll see. Sans he has a couple of different armies. I would like to see our bull clone army could be something we bring.
Yes, let's go to war. Let's go to war. Maybe. I need to go to war. Like, Jab will challenge me with his tipper trucks. Anyways,
that would be like,
we'll just run those nights over. It's not fair.
So I was thinking if we were to go to Chicago, because you said
we could all sign up together.
We'd sign up together, create one giant box. But the problem is that when we want to go hang out, our whole like display is just empty. Like there's nobody watching our stuff, as opposed to us being scattered. But there's a pro and con to that. I don't know. I need to like get on board with how this is set up, and we should definitely prepare ourselves if we're all doing Chicago next year about how to do
it's Chicago 10 out of 10, and a lot of the Brits are coming over too.
We're probably not going to Virginia next year. I don't think Sans knows that.
Yeah, that's an asterisk for me as well, just because of just what I'm going to be capable of and what it's worth. And in the end, this is the take home message. Go to whichever ones your friends are going to be going to. That is that is the end all be all. Like, we can say Chicago 10 times and that's fine. And it is the superior experience overall. However, if you all live near Virginia and you all love Virginia, and especially I know it's Matt's favorite convention because all those guys live near, they can bring their mocks. There's a ton of them that it's a great hangout spot, and they have just some really good history with Virginia, and they're able to have their own, like, it's very special to them in that way.
Exactly. That makes sense.
So go to Virginia, even though it is a weirder vibe. I got to fight another girl in the parking lot with swords. I had a sword fight.
Oh, I thought you got on a fight.
No.
Like, oh, damn.
I got to get in a sword fight, even though I was promised a lightsaber battle. We show up and it's just a bunch of dudes with two swords. So, but a girl needed another girl to duel, and I dueled her and I won.
Is there content of this?
Huh?
Am I going to see it somewhere?
Oh, I have video.
But is it going to be shared on the tubes or shared in private?
I think I'm going to work it in. I hope Emily shows it. But I definitely, she gave the footage to me, so I'm definitely going to incorporate it into one of my vlogs. Nice. It was great. I look great.
So now that you've both been to Virginia twice, is there a difference between like the hype going up, or was it like kind of the same, or did it kind of like go down a little bit now that conventions are a thing again and not everybody's trying to run? Like, did it feel the same as far as like?
See, that was
overall
the first one. This was good. That you don't match the hype of the first.
No,
meeting people.
The first time Virginia happened, like it was like end of pandemic, everyone's just gonna flock to Virginia. You know what I mean? Now that conventions have now all kind of run through itself throughout the entire year, is the same kind of like, Virginia still there as opposed to like years before?
It was really enjoyable, but no.
So I'm going to like sound like ridiculous, but it was our 4th convention of the season. Today, my dad is like, I was talking to my dad about some stuff, and he's like, it's a little ridiculous. How many conventions did you go to? And I was like, you know what, Dad? It's fine. There isn't one until June of next year. We kind of went to a lot. So by the time we went to Virginia, we were like we weren't as like excited and hyped as I would say. Like, I think the hype for Chicago and Virginia last year were the same. Yeah. Probably a little bit more for Chicago this year. Because I was a little bit apprehensive last year. We were super excited, but I was a little bit nervous. But I just thought it was just the best time. But Chicago this year was really special because Lauren and I got a lot of one-on-one time, which was really nice. Yeah. And that's the nice thing. So like, we have this like our group of friends, but sometimes it's nice to like, spend some quality time with the individuals, and that's really special. And that's what we got to have. And I had some health stuff come up, which was a little bit scary for a really hot second. And Lauren was amazing, and Sans was amazing, and everything is great. And I talked to my cardiologist, or this nurse practitioner that works with my cardiologist, and he's like, do you work out a lot? And I was like, yeah. He's like, have you heard of caustic angina? And so they were like, yeah. And so, which is something who shall not has been suffering from a lot, and has used it as an excuse to not upload for 2 months. But which is really funny because he's like, I think that might be what's happening, which is like kind of interesting. But I'm going in later this week to get that, which is would be hilarious if that's what was it at the end.
Would be.
Yeah, he's like, it could be a combination.
Such poetic justice.
Yeah. But let me tell you guys, get some friends in your life that are professionals. And by professionals, I mean like the old school type of professional. A lawyer, an accountant, a doctor, a pharmacist, and an architect. We are very, very effective people.
Powerful friends.
So
Damn, I'm doing pretty good, huh?
yeah.
I walked Claire over to the Walmart pharmacy and just like, we're going to do a little bit of this. Have you had this before? All right, we're going to add a little bit of this.
Yeah, I saw Lauren in her element. She was just like, by the way, she doesn't call it by its like, branded name.
Brand name. She calls it by what it is.
By the active ingredient that it is. And I'm like, just smart.
Just like that. It's just easier to go by generic. It's like all hospital pharmacists will know generic, and all retail pharmacists will know all the like fancy brand names. It's the same thing, guys.
No, yeah, exactly. And I was like,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, and like, no, I'm a big fan of white labels. Your cat's trying to murder Hermione. So that was really fun, and like Lauren, you have the biggest heart, and you're like a caretaker in all senses of the word, and it's wonderful being your friend. And you deserve the whole world. So thank you for being there for me and
that was the thing. Like I had such a good time at Virginia, not because of any. Oh dear. Yep. Hold on. You can cut this out, Shy. Cat, get down. Okay, it's fine. That was incredibly cute. Yeah.
Maybe
you did
it's
that,
not
Cat,
fine.
didn't you?
Oh, what fell? What fell?
Hold on.
Pan over.
Pan over. Hold on, let me
Wow, your office is coming together.
All my pad cups.
Oh,
okay. I thought it was like a shattered.
That's the cat. Look at that.
Did I do that?
You little. All right.
Oops.
But not for nothing. Your office is turning out pretty well.
Yeah. No, it's going well. I've got to do some more lighting stuff. But all right, sorry for that interruption, guys. Oh, let's get back on track. After that very heartfelt message from Claire, my cat decided to destroy my office. But
so how was Brickmania?
Brickmania was a lot of fun. Hi, Sans. Brickmania was. They're still filling out that store. It felt pretty.
Bigger, right?
Yeah. It's bigger, but like still pretty. It's they legitimately just took what they had from their old store and filled in this bigger space, so it was a little bit sparse in the beginning, but it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of hype for the store specific minifig release. And we were there and we were like, we are on a mission. And I'm just like, I am going to elbow whoever I need to elbow because we were here in time to get these things. But good news is there was going to be enough for everyone. So it was less of a like, where's there was a little less organization than me, super structured of, if you're having a limited release, please make sure that everyone knows where the line forms and where the line ends, because there was none of that. People were just kind of like, and then they were just staring at us. And I'm just like, this is not going to go well.
No. And Lauren Lauren and I just did like, we knew how many they had and we did a count of how many people were in the store and we're like, we're fine. So we just like went to the back of the line.
Yeah, we just went to the back of the line, even though we were in the front by the cash register, because that seemed where like everything was. They just created the line on the other side. And I'm like, cool, great. I'm just going to go in the back of the line.
I think that Brickmania store, I've been to 2 of them. That's my favorite. I love it. They're great. They watch content there, which they're always super fun. And they're really, which you don't have to like watch our content for us to like you, but it's always a plus. But it was really fun because they're like Shy's friends,
Shy's friends. We're known. We're people.
Yeah, and a lot of them like watch this podcast. So hi, Brickmania, Chantilly.
And Dan specifically picked all your flags out for you because we're like, we got a list.
Well, hold on. Yeah, so we bought a lot of stuff for Shy, but my favorite part is like Sans is next to us and so Dan made the announcement and stuff and everyone's like crowding like the front and Dan's just like sitting there kind of like observing, and then Sans is like, you're not doing anything. Do you want to help us get some flags? And like literally calls out the owner of the company.
The owner of the company.
Sounds like a Sans move.
Yeah. He's like, can you help us? And then we have a couple flags, and then he opens it up, and Shy was like, just grab a couple flags. Couple. When you get a couple, let me just tell you, a couple means 2. And people miss this all the time. A couple is 2, a few is 3 or more. Okay, that's how really it works. That couple is 2. Okay, I'm just getting it clear. This is always done. So this one does 2. We look, and it's not just 2. It's not just 2 pages. It's 4 pages. 40 flags. And
having fun with
Army
flags.
life.
And then we realized that like there's no way in hell that we're gonna pick these before like we're gonna make it to the front of the line. So we literally let the rest of the line go behind.
We just go.
Like, oh, we're fine. And at this point, Brickmania was cool, and they had passed out. They had walked around with like a big bin of like the limited release figures, and they had just like handed one to everybody that was there. So we had those in hand, and there was an honor system that we were going to pay for them. You don't really like mess around in like a military store. It's just like something. There's like an honor system there, right? Anyway, regardless, we like show up and we're like, oh, we need some flags. Oh, we need some flags.
Just a couple.
It was, and I kept asking since I was like, are you sure he didn't like show you the whole page and like circle one of them?
Shy, all of them. I'll take the lot.
Yeah, we'll take it all. And it was
take it all.
Yeah, it was a quick reminder and lesson in global flags of different time periods. So that was fun.
Yeah, and name dropping Shy, even at the other custom minifigs, just kind of like, I am shopping for Shy, and they're like, well, of course I have this. Oh, and let me get this for you. Oh, and then it just like status immediately raised to like priority boarding. Like, exactly, I felt very important.
It's a lot. It's certainly a lot of fun to shop for Shy, and Lauren had the
list.
They're called the staff or whatever, the talking stick for this trip. So that was fun. So Shy, I've got all your
pride.
And I was going to ship it out UPS tomorrow, or Morgan can bring it down next week. It's up to you.
I'm good for both. So if Morgan wants to bring it down and meet up, I'm down.
Okay, cool. Okay. But this guy didn't even want it because like we're gonna see him in like a month and a half probably, and I was like, do you want me to bring it down then? And he's like, no, I don't want to wait that long.
No, I want to put it in the video.
I know. Okay, cool.
I'm excited to get cool through 2 months ago or 2 months from now.
Fair. So
it was I learned a lot about like custom bricks and stuff, and I'm like, I would have never known they had these.
I should do a video of like stuff I bought at Virginia.
And then I was influenced while at K-Town. I'm just like, oh, I want some of this stuff. And I'm going to get a little bit of this. And I'm going to a little bit of this. 1 for Shy, 2 for me. 1 for Shy.
A lot of the custom world is pretty cool. And they're definitely overlooked by people who have no idea that they exist. Yeah, you kind of happen to have to accidentally fall onto them or want something specific enough that you are so desperate that Lego won't make that you'll get something else. So that kind of crosses that threshold of like, okay, I'm not going to be a full purist, or you got to be like spoon fed it. Like I've been doing to all my friends. Don't get me this. Don't get me this.
I Captain.
I mean, like, what, you have Brickmania in your house now? You have K-Town in your house now? Like,
I even have Brick Tactical in my house. Yeah, what a rabbit hole.
It's a whole different world.
It's fun. It's a fun world as long as you dabble with it. Like, don't take it too seriously. It's just a lot of fun, and don't go into debt over it.
Build
responsibly. A daily reminder: don't go into debt for your hobby. Make responsible financial choices.
Well, either way, thank you both for grabbing all this stuff for me.
Oh, I didn't do anything. We're just.
You transported across the country, so that's something. That's something. Yeah. Speaking of that, how was Hive's spot? I know he's going to be listening to this part.
Very cool. Hive has the dream kind of basement set up.
Can you bring our viewers to this? Bring us there.
Yeah, I will. So basically, Hive has like a beautiful house and like a really nice lake community. It's like very elegant. It's really nice.
It's an inlet though, saltwater.
Yeah, it's very nice. We met his beautiful wife, who's wonderful and supportive, and really that was pretty special. I know Lauren and I were both.
This is Hive fan club right here.
Yeah, she's great. And like, if you know anything about Hive, she's like his #1 fan and supporter, and she's quite wonderful. And anyway, so we walk in and they had like basically a cookout. Like they had the two of them had set up essentially like a 13-year-old's birthday party in terms of food, which is the exact food demographic for our group of friends. It was great. There was like hot dogs, burgers, chips, and like all the goodies. Mm-hmm. And then so we hung out for a little bit. Yeah, but no butter noodles. And No, it's a really, they have a beautiful house. It's like, it's kind of one of those houses that you buy, you're like, I'm going to die here kind of houses. And I don't mean that they're going to die soon. I mean, like, it's like you live there forever.
That's forever.
That's so nice. They found the spot.
It's very elegant. Yeah, it's really, really nice. It's kind of got a little bit of charm. And then you walk downstairs, which is like kind of like a half basement because the house is elevated since the water table is so high. And so it's not completely underground. So there's lots of natural light that still floods in and looks out onto the backyard. So you walk in, and Hive has like done a really good job of interlacing art and media posters and just different kinds of elements outside of Lego as well as Lego art and Lego posters. And so it really looks like a very cool space that reflects him. And then it's really just an L shape. And there's a part that has his like work studio, and around him has like displays that are really, really nicely done.
That's what you see in the back of his live streams most of the time, like those minifigure displays. That is his work desk.
Yes.
And then it's his city.
Yeah, and he folds into his city, and it's really cool. And it's so funny, like all of us standing there, and he's like, I just wish I had a little bit more space. Or maybe I should add another table. And we're just
like,
yeah. But all of us are just like tweaking a little bit, like, you know, and my only constructive criticism would be enjoy the open space more. Don't use empty boxes for decoration. Have a little bit of white space just for breathing room and for creative pause. Yeah, just so that your mind has somewhere to break visually when you always need somewhere to stop. Mm-hmm. And we got to see his artwork in real life, which honestly I think does it more justice.
Yeah.
It is much better in real life because you get just like a sense of like the pencil and the weight.
The texture. You can see the texture and depth of what he does.
Yeah, which is really cool. So yeah, he's a super talented guy and a really gracious host. And it was really nice to go out there. It was really fun. Yeah. So,
I think for me, that was like the FOMO the most. Like I was more like, oh, I wish I was there just for Hive's like barbecue and the entire convention whatsoever. Like I was like purposely not watching your stuff, just so like stories and all that kind of stuff, just so I wouldn't feel like, oh man, I wish I was there. But when it came down to like Hive's like Sunday, when you guys were all saying they're going to go there, I'm like, oh, that is cool.
That was the part that we were probably the most excited for as well, because it's like the most special. And honestly, it was like an hour and a half drive. It wasn't like a casual thing, but it was like really a casual, like it was a non-negotiable. We were like, of course we're going.
No, right. Of course we're going. Yeah. It was awesome.
So yeah, that would be honestly like the biggest drive to go, you know, back out to Virginia. We'll give him a couple more years though to like update his city, because Sam's
probably he'll have made it into another room. He'll pull the Saurus and he'll have made it into another room for sure.
Was the Lego only in that downstairs basement, or is it migrated?
Right now it is. Yeah,
it's only in the basement.
Like a storage room that he could theoretically like finish and stuff, but they've got some projects that they want to do to the house, and it's a big house, so there's like a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Did you see Mrs. Hive's Funko collection?
We did.
And her water globe.
She has
snow globe.
Disney snow globes. She has some really awesome. That I was really surprised by, and really,
that name.
Really cool. Yeah.
The water globes at Christmas.
Doesn't she have like the original ones or something?
I think I don't know enough about it, but some of them look pretty old. Pretty old. Yeah,
they look, and they were all the classics.
Yeah,
like the OGs of Disney.
Yeah.
But the Wonder Woman Funko Pop collection, it is impressive about how many Wonder Women they have made.
Yeah. If you're still here, Hive, I still got you.
The Invisible Jet, like all of the larger Funko stuff, that like her accessories and whatnot too, were really fun to see. It's in her really front office. Yeah, it was really nice. Great hosts, the both of them. It was just a super cool hangout. Like Lego Danny Bob was able to come. Ryan played Beat Saber for the first time in his life. That was really funny to watch.
How long were you guys there?
Almost
2 hours.
Yeah, a solid 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Saying I had some serious FOMO. I was hoping I could see more, but I was like, "Oh, okay, it's cool, whatever." You guys are gonna post safe. Just the 2 photos was enough for me.
See, that's the real FOMO, because you can't buy stuff like that. So
No, and that's the thing with all conventions, and what makes it fun is the intimacy of friendship. It's clear and clean. Like we said that multiple times since Chicago, and you can go to the biggest convention in the world, but if your friends aren't there, it's just Lego, which is fun.
But you don't. Yeah, like we always just kind of found each other, and like Claire and I were just like, you want to get some fresh air? We'll leave the boys, and we do like. We'd walk in the parking lot, even though it was just so hot. We would like drive to Starbucks. I picked up orders, just like, hey, I'm going here. Anybody want anything? And then there are plenty of like food options in Chantilly. There's definitely some that like Claire and I were able to branch out at a couple places, not just Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell, that were really very nice. It was like, would eat there again? Way more than Schaumburg Convention Center. You're kind of limited to like, it is really nice that they have a bar, the hotel bar. But that restaurant, which is great, was a great option. They have a little cafe, but they don't have anything within walking distance. Otherwise, you've got to drive. So that is a little bit of a setback, but of course there's ride sharing. It's a quick lift across to the, a strip mall area where, there's food and there's a mall with always
and stuff.
Order, DoorDash and like order it, to be dropped off. No big deal, and nothing that would ever make like, oh, I need to go to Virginia for the food. Not at all. No.
It's 2022. Everything's deliverable these days.
Absolutely. I'm very curious. I want to see the final numbers of the public days. Virginia public days were crazy. I did a full vlog of like just walking around, the line wrapped around this giant convention center and in the morning. And it was just really incredible to see. It was just packed at all times of the public hours.
Really?
Packed. There were so many, and families, kids. It was so neat to see like everyone. For some reason, I feel like it was more people than Chicago. I don't know why. Maybe it was just more apparent. Maybe because Virginia just seems like a wider space to me because of the like with just mocks in the public rather than the vendor space in between. That kind of throws off my like perception of the surface area. But like the surface area for mocks just seems, the square footage seems larger at Virginia just because of the sheer just
the
blanket, size of the expo center. They really use it to the advantage. Like you have there's plenty of space. Never felt too claustrophobic, like some corners would get a little bit, but the public days were just super well attended. Pretty sure they sold out each day. It was overall really cool to see. There were so many kids. Everyone was just, very enticed. People were just kind of like, oh my gosh, that's Sans, and like, oh my gosh, that's Emily, and like, go say hi. And it was just really exciting. I got to meet a lot of people. I stood by my mock a little bit behind it, but I kind of wanted to be out on the floor and moving around a lot. So
okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So if someone wanted to like showcase, like how glued is like, or do you feel like you have to be?
Not at all. The best part about having a mock is having a touchdown spot for your stuff. In all honesty, under like you can keep your stuff at the table, and usually that table is going to have other people. That island is going to have other people around it that really stay with it. That it is a protected space, and that if I saw like a random person just kind of going into an area that it didn't seem like they belonged into, you're going to watch out for each other. Even though I wasn't standing behind my mock, I still kind of hovered around it. Hey, I'm going to go check on my mock. Hey, I'm going to go check on my mock. I just do some drive-bys and whatnot, but it's nice to have a touchdown spot for your stuff, for your drink, or, a water bottle or anything. But I did not feel glued to my spot at all. I didn't in Chicago. I didn't in Virginia. I never would, because there was nothing in it that was super expensive, that I was really attached to. So I wasn't too worried about it. Now, it did come down during the yard sale. They do the yard sales around the mock tables. And the back of the yard sale table did back up kind of close to my mock. So with the wrong elbow, it could have caused a little bit of a problem. So I was a little bit more attentive to it on that. But the people around it were very sweet. Like I talked to them and I'm like, that's mine. If you could just be careful. Since it was on a corner and all those shelves, just it gave me a little bit of anxiety. But otherwise, everyone's very respectful. I didn't have anything go missing. I didn't have any issues. So I did not feel glued at all at either space. And I wouldn't, bring fake figs, bring something else. If you think it needs to be shown with them, then bring some fake ones, put them out when you're not there, or just don't worry, like take your figs with you and, just show the base model, because it's just, there's constantly people going around taking pictures. It's really neat. The mock cards give you credit. You can set up your Instagram and stuff accounts. You can't link anything that would be merch or anything. They don't really like that, especially at Virginia. Any kind of place that is like merchandise or for profit or something like that really wouldn't be, or rebrickable or anything like that. I think that would cost money or anything. But other than that, no. I mean, great experiences showing at both shows. As fulfilled as I was, it caused so many people to stop and stare and look. And it was just really neat to see that. And I was kind of in a corner on my own. I was by the emergency exit in one complete corner. So it was really neat to see people had something to see in that corner. It wasn't just kind of bare and scattered with little things. But it was kind of an off the beaten path. Still really worth registering.
That's my worry is if I bring my army, that's $4,000.
It is.
So I mean, everything on there is technically replaceable, so it's not like it's a detriment to
no one's going to be able to sweep a ton of figs without somebody seeing. But you just never know. It's managed at night. You really watched our badges and whatnot with who was supposed to be there, who wasn't supposed to be there after hours. We
did
not
covering stuff when they left.
Right. And you can do that. That's certainly an option too, just to keep hands off of it. But I didn't do that at all. And the convention center at Virginia is open till 2 a.m. most of the nights for the attendees, so that you can just hang out, do stuff. I don't know.
Do we foresee Cascade being as big as the other two eventually?
Cascade is working its name into the West Coast. It's working its way up. I feel I keep hearing more
notoriety of it's going.
Cascade and Slopes.
Yes, both of those are getting their notoriety, especially seen more so with the Instagrammers now. I feel like the YouTubers went there too. It would definitely
maybe, I don't know, but YouTubers, Instagrammers, we don't have mocks. Only some of us do. Thanks Lauren for bringing one, but you know what I mean? It's all about the local community, and if people are gonna build mocks and bring them. It's just
so the mocks are pretty big with those two. Yeah. It's just the online presence isn't, because a lot of people know about Virginia, know about Chicago, because a lot of people put stuff online, even though the mockers don't like YouTubers there. I'm sorry. Well, the YouTubers put these.
We're gonna come anyway.
Yeah. So, but there's not many that project the other two conventions as heavily as those two. Mm-hmm. Now with the ease and the growth of TikTok and Instagram, it's definitely these things up there. So with conventions like Slopes and Cascade, because of these pushes of this event's happening here at this time, here's all the content that's being shared of this place next year, it's going to be big. Because I remember Cascade last year was huge. It was huge. So. And if you can just by looking, I've never been there obviously, but I would say it's fairly spacious, and there are some notorious mocks in there that are being showcased. So if you just added that other element of social media presence, it's that missing variable,
the missing link of really shooting it to be a real something, a real staple in the community. And I really that's so much more accessible to so many other people, where Chicago and Virginia are so far away from you all. From even a teenager that would want to bring his mock down the street, or just be able to drive it to somewhere to show. It really cuts it off with it needing to be an airplane away from the West Coast. I kind of want to explore going to a European, one of the UK's
I think that'll be fun.
I think that would be really fun. And even though like, hey, don't get your hopes up, but I'm like, I'm not going to be, it's not to compare it just like, oh, Chicago. No, it's to experience what you all have at your, like availability and what you have as your location, the traditions you all get to have, and the annual conventions that you all have over here. I love hearing about all of these fun city names. And we have so many, friends over in the UK, Tech, SW, not that Sam Smith, Gecko. Like there's a whole list of them that show over there pretty regularly. And it would just be really cool for us to go over there to see their mocks and whatnot.
I agree.
Where's that convention that's in, I think, Germany?
I want to do one in Germany. Like
there's a big, those are some
castle, like hall, whatever it's called. I don't know what it is, a palace or something.
Yeah, it's like
need to learn German
style. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Chicago next year.
Yeah,
we'll see. Hopefully Chicago is a thing. It looks like a lot of people are putting in the calendar this time around.
It's registration is open for Chicago. I walked Rosie through it today.
Did you already register, Lauren?
I've made my brick badge. It's in my cart. I was going to see if there's anything else I could add to my cart right now, but I don't think anything else is up.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
I know, and now we just start talking about Chicago again
for the next 6 months and just annoy everybody. Oh my God!
Well, and everyone's like starting especially the UK guys are starting to save for Chicago, and all of this, and so it's definitely going to be a good time. And even amongst that was another thing with Chicago is just so much more networking, so many more content creators. You had so much more of the Instagram people. You have so much more of the bloggers. You had so much more of the YouTube community. Like practically everyone was there. And then, I don't know, like Virginia's just so much more laid back. And, there wasn't that networking piece. There was just kind of like, hi, I'm so-and-so. You still got to meet people that watched the channel, people that knew you, people that knew others. That was really neat, but much more chill, much more laid back.
Which is a good thing. That's also
absolutely needed. I mean, it's needed in the circuit for sure. It's still a good time. But once again, like a good time was had specifically by me because of who was there, who I got to spend it with, who I got to, share an Airbnb with and learn intimate details about their lives. And that Sans only wakes up early for LegoCon conventions.
That's it.
That's
the gold information right there. That's worth every single penny of flying across the states.
Oh, it's so good.
It's for those 6 hours of intimate conversations.
It was nice, and just staying up until 2 a.m. just chatting, going through this is what we bought for the day, and, drawing out and just going through it, buying 6 cups of Pav at the Tyson's corner store. With all the Star Wars boys and the Lego employee going playing with the big kids back there. And I'm just like, I am the biggest kid. I am older than all of them.
Don't disrespect me.
Do not disrespect me and my Pab. And so I just made my way through. I'm learning more and more names as I go. I'm excited to see where this goes, where the friend group grows, where the content, who else is going to pop up as content creators, and just the space kind of evolves with the convention circuit now that it's reopened from the pandemic, how it goes, because Chicago this past year was the first time it's been held. It's been canceled for the past 3. It was 3 years.
3? Yeah, 3 years. I think 3 years.
I thought it was canceled for 3 years. So that was a major re-up start.
Well, I think it happened, yeah.
I want to see how the conventions learn with content creators.
Don't put our names out there.
How they, if they're going to learn and they're going to take feedback seriously on internet privacy and safety is a thing. You have to respect that, and please listen to us. And then on the other side, you have Virginia, who's so chill about it, puts whatever you want on your badge, does not have your real name linked to anything specific, has very specific buttons, even though it's a terrible internet interface. Is very straightforward, and hey, if you don't want this to appear in the pamphlet, just click this button and you're good. And they just do door prizes by number. It's fine.
What shocks me with that is that the head of Brickworld, he's frequently in the tube space.
The space.
Yeah, so his
I don't know. Maybe he needs to have a daughter.
or just maybe he's just not he's just not around like people who can get doxxed very easily.
Doxxed and or have really creepy experiences.
Exactly.
Unfortunate experiences that, you know, I don't know. It's sad that to say you're kind of used to it. You kind of expect it at least every now and then, depending on who you are. But it just takes one of those to really drive home that importance. And it's information that once out there, you can't make it safe again.
Total agreement. So going back to it, Chicago is way better than Virginia.
Yeah. Chicago. Absolutely. Would choose that if I could only go to one convention a year. Even if I were going alone, that is still the convention I would choose, just so that I could roll out of bed, go down the elevators, get my coffee, stay in AC, go to the convention floor and just sit behind my mock or shop at the vendors or just kind of have it all in one. And then hang out at the bar like after hours and then, you know, retire to my room all in one.
Agree. So I'm excited for next year.
And to all you all out there listening, we hope to see you there.
Oh yeah. So if you are listening and if any of you listen to this in the semi-future, please don't be afraid to like come up to anybody that you see on social media. Yeah, we're all people. Everyone's people. Like Ryan is completely like open to like talking to anybody. Like I don't see any, not one person out here that's like thinks they're all high and mighty. Everybody's just like really, really cool and open. So
they may have a limited time that they can dedicate to you.
Yeah, but don't be afraid.
Take their time, you know, like professionally and seriously. However, don't be afraid to come say hi, have a chat, and then, you know, move on.
On that note, shall we roll that music?
Peace.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sorry, she was like, I wanted to say a lot, but she was like just crying in the background, like heavily. I'm like, oh my god.
You're fine. My stamp isn't working. Do you guys have experience with these stamps? I think you can refill them, right?